Another day, another weird niche sport decom to cover.
Sports DCOMs are 20% talent, but 80% heart.
20% normal sport, 80% no one does this sport.
I mean, I feel like in this movie, it's more like 40% normal sport, boxing, 60% no one does this sport, double dutch.
Have you ever known like any of your friends be a boxer though?
I know, I've known people who've done boxing classes.
Classes, but not like
Yes.
competitive
But that's like an
boxing.
actual sport people watch, people performing.
Yeah, but it's still less popular than like baseball, which is
Yeah,
like one baseball decom.
which doesn't make sense. If I would go on a
You'd
tangent,
think there'd be more.
baseball is the most movifiable team sport, but instead they go like, here's 4 hockey decoms,
Yeah, and throw in some basketball.
like a couple soccer, I think. Not really.
There's Lemonade Mouth and like kind of Stuck in the Suburbs. But you're right, there's so many hockey ones. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. And there's a good amount of basketball ones, but that makes sense to me.
Basketball's pretty
Basketball
easy
works.
to
Yeah.
make. Yeah, there's a lot of basketball. Actually,
And
I
there's
think basketball is the
only
most.
one double Dutch decom?
What the heck? Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I will not be singing, but Kelsey will be this entire episode. I'm Benji.
Crap, I need to get my kazoo. I'm Kelsey.
We're the DCOM duo.
Yeah.
Here to talk about the niche sport of the day, double dutch, and also boxing, and also the DCOM Jump In.
Heck yeah.
Jump In is a good movie.
It is.
All right,
It's a
bye.
good movie. Bye. We're
No,
done.
but I've always said, like when we did our first marathon, we watched Jump In very early on. And we always kind of had it as the guardian, the bodyguard, the bouncer for like the A tier.
Yeah.
This is the movie that you have to be past to be a good movie. Because I think this is just generically a good made for TV movie. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not ironically like amazing, not ironically unamazing. Just genuinely pretty good quality, respectful movie. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that we say is better than Jump In, no, we really mean it. And anything we say is worse just means it's not like a movie I think you should spend your night with.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it is.
This one's kind of funny because I never watched this as a child.
Which is crazy.
I definitely had heard of it.
It's one of the biggest DCOMs.
It's pretty big, yeah. No, I definitely like seen some commercials. I had heard of it, but I never watched it. I think I just didn't really have interest slash it didn't play that much.
Well, from my personal history, I'm going to say this without having any evidence in front of me, so maybe how my memory works is flawed here. But the reason this was so big was this is the one tangentially related High School Musical project, DCOM, between High School Musical 1 and 2.
I think you're correct.
And this is like 3 months ish before the release of High School Musical 2.
It was about 6 months before.
Okay. My brain.
It came out in January. High School Musical 2 came out in the summer.
So people, if you weren't there, High School Musical 1 became a huge phenomenon.
Huge hit.
Beyond every.
So they're like, let's throw Corbin Bleu in another DCOM.
Well, I think they already worked on that, is what I'm saying. Like, I think.
It came out like the year after.
Yeah, I mean, these things take a little more than a year to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they already had this under development and they were working on this movie and they were able to put it in and advertise, hey, this is Corbin Bleu. He plays Chad in High School Musical.
Yeah.
Watch this movie.
This is his one movie that's like Corbin Bleu is this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think without High School Musical, this one isn't nearly as big, but it's a good movie again. Like it's good.
So, yeah, no. So I watched it for the first time a couple years ago when we were doing the marathon, and now I've seen it twice and I enjoyed it, both times. I was surprised how like genuinely good it is. It was pretty early in our
I've said
marathon.
before on this podcast, I think there are about 10 DCOMs that are genuinely good. Maybe at some point we should go through and figure out what those 10 are.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of them.
Yeah. And it's like it is still a TV movie and it feels like a TV movie. But it's still good.
It's got heart, it's got like direction behind it. We both multiple times during the watch of this were like, wow, the score for this movie is actually really good. The music supervision.
The music, even just like the track, like the songs that they
Yeah.
produced for the movie they're good.
And like it's a little cheesy, but like
Yeah,
it's got heart behind it.
There's a couple things that we like to poke at. But overall, our enjoyment of the movie is genuine.
Which is why maybe this is going to sound really funny for people who are able to look at how long this podcast actually is. I feel like this is going to be one of our shorter podcasts.
I don't know.
Because
we'll see.
We do have a good bit to say about the cast, but other than that, there's not too much like insane to talk about with Jump In. It's just a good movie. It's harder to talk about like a 7 out of 10 than it is to talk about a 10 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
So
let's jump in. Just kidding. We have fan mail.
Oh yes, we do.
Yeah, I have it.
Yes.
Okay, so this was for our last episode, the slumber party. Coming from Benji's mom.
What? She sent fan mail?
Yeah, it's great.
If you'd like to send us fan mail, by the way, either about Jump In or any other DCOM, please do. We love receiving it.
Yeah.
Email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com.
I feel like at this point we shouldn't even call it fan mail. We should just call it like Tammy's thoughts.
We could rebrand it as that.
All right. So, hi Kelsey and Ben. Your chat about a character in the slumber party using a tampon during nosebleeds reminded me of the numerous nosebleeds that Ben had as a child.
I did have a lot of nosebleeds. I also had like a blood disease.
Yeah, you had like a medical condition.
Yeah. Where my blood couldn't clot as well. The most related, surprisingly enough. I just got a lot of nosebleeds.
Oh, they were separate? I also had a lot of nosebleeds as a kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a blood disease.
I don't know what really has changed where maybe I'm just more hydrated now.
Maybe. I mean, I kind of grew out of it. Like, my dad also had a lot of nosebleeds as a kid. Sometimes you just get a lot of nosebleeds.
I still get a decent amount.
Yeah, you get more than me. I like
went during that one summer where I was really struggling with ITP. I had to really worry about if I had a nosebleed, like deal with it. Once
I got a nosebleed while I was taking a shower, and I just had this moment of like, oh no, I need to like cover my nose, and then I'm just like, I'm in the shower. I can just kind of let it wash off of me, you know. It was a weird place to get a nosebleed.
People love 10 minutes into their Jump In discussion hearing about nosebleeds.
Sorry, back to the email. Some of them were scary and he got very comfortable with the sight of blood. However, he only used tissues. Tampons probably would have worked well. Your discussion brought some creative juices and I wrote a poem for you this morning. Heck yeah, Tammy. Okay. In Ben's childhood days of yore, nosebleeds came knocking, a frequent chore. A crimson stream would often flow, yet courage in his heart would grow. He faced each trickle, each crimson tide, with tissues ready, right by his side. A warrior against the red cascade, through every nosebleed, he held his trade. With every drop that marked his skin, he found strength from deep within. No tampons needed, just steadfast will to conquer each nosebleed calm and still. So here's to Ben, with resilience shown, facing the challenge never overthrown. Nosebleeds may have danced like a playful wisp, but Ben's spirit endured, never to be missed. Looking forward to your next podcast on Jump In. Love, Tammy. P.S. I had a bit of poem writing help from ChatGPT.
I was gonna say, I saw like the beginning of that email earlier today, and I started scrolling through, and I went, I'm not gonna like look deep into this, but there's no way. Sorry, Mom.
There's no way she just wrote a poem.
There's no way you just wrote a poem. That was ChatGPT.
I was about to be so impressed. I'm like, Tammy, you just wrote a poem? And then, I didn't read the whole poem because on my phone it didn't show it all. So now that I'm on my computer, I got to see it all. I did not see that she faked it until now.
I was gonna call it out. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
She admits to ChatGPT. Well, thank you for the poem. That was lovely.
Yeah.
All right. And
They
that
even
should
mentioned
be
the
it
tampon
about
thing.
talking about nosebleeds for this episode.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it anymore. All right. So let's jump in
The
to the factos.
DCOM duo factos.
I can't wait to say jump in so many times this episode.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie if you didn't
That's
know.
the name of the
You should be able
movie.
to read the title before you click on these, but in case you can't.
Okay, Jump In was released January 12th, 2007. It is the 67th DCOM.
So basically in the middle.
Yeah, it's basically Malcolm in the Middle.
No, that's a TV show. This is a TV movie.
Director was Paul Hohen. You recognize that
I
name?
do.
Yeah, he directed Invisible Sister, and you didn't write down every DCOM he directed, but I did. So let's go.
Can you do it in one breath?
I'll try. Invisible Sister, How to Build a Better Boy, Cloud Nine, Dad Nats, Read It and Weep, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, You Wish, True Confessions, The Luck of the Irish, Let It Shine, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, The Cheetah Girls, One World, Zombies 1, 2, and 3, and that's it for movies plus Jump In.
There you
That's a
go.
breath. So that's a lot.
That's a lot, and they're very varied quality.
Yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, Dad Napped is like probably in our bottom 5.
Yeah, Denap sucked. But this movie, Jump In and Let It Shine, is this racist? And I'm like, they have similar vibes. It's just because it's like a black led cast. That's not
Wow.
what I was going for.
Tisk, tisk.
Like
You
the
were
editing.
comparing the movie to Let It Shine while we were watching.
I feel like the vibes of Jump In and Let It Shine are very similar.
I've only seen Let It Shine once. Oh.
I've seen it at least twice.
So I might not be the best of judgment on that. I feel like there's similar aspects, but I feel like there's also a distinct difference,
Just
especially
the
with how
like
like the family life.
secret following your dream, like, and
Yeah,
having a
but I
complicated
mean that's
relationship
also
with your
just the
dad.
basic decom plot.
Except the dad in Let It Shine sucks, and the dad in Jump In rocks.
Yeah.
So
What percent of decoms are secretly following your dream and having a complicated relationship with your dad?
all right, so there's Jump In, there's Let It Shine.
All High
There's
School Musicals.
no, just the first one. After the first one, his relationship with his dad's fine. um.
We can think. I'm again. Lemonade Mouth.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm just like scrolling through some of these.
Does dad not count?
Yes.
But she doesn't really like have a secret passion. She just talks to a character.
I don't want to go through all
Yeah,
of
I
these.
don't.
There are so many that are just cases that I could argue for. That's just a decom plot. Let's not.
It is.
Let's not act like it's anything more than that.
Paul Howen also did some episodes here and there of like even Stevens, Jonas, Andy Mack. He actually did a lot of Andy Mack. Raven's Home. He's done some High School Musical the series.
So still in the Disney Channel ecosystem.
And also outside of Disney Channel, he did a little bit of Ned's Classified School Survival Guide.
So Nick.
So that's Nick, yeah. So damn, DCOM director King.
He's a legend.
Yeah. So good for you, Paul. We will see your name again. Maybe it'll be next episode. It's more likely than any other director.
Do we know he's done the most?
I don't, but I would think so.
He's up there.
I mean, we have not come across any other director. This is like, what, 22, 23 movies in?
I feel like there's someone who could have like half of the old DCOMs.
Maybe. Okay, let's jump into our cast now. Our main character, Izzy Daniels, is played, of course, by Corbin Bleu.
I always thought Corbin Bleu was a big deal because I was a kid who watched High
he's
School
not.
Musical. And he's not.
Literally, I was like looking him up and I'm like, oh my God, of course, Corbin Bleu, High School Musical. And then I'm like looking to see what else he's done. And it's not really.
No, it's funny.
Else.
This is really nothing.
Yeah, so he's in High School Musical 1, 2, and 3, of course. He's also in the third slash fourth season of High School Musical, the musical, the series. I have not watched the fourth season yet, but I know he's in it.
Because they're
So
filming High School Musical 4.
yeah, but I have seen the third season, and he was pretty iconic in that season. He's one of the like good parts of that season. A lot of it sucked.
Kelsey hate watches High
I
School Musical, the musical,
hate
the
it so
series.
much, but also I'm gonna binge it with Ben in like a week.
Yeah. If people want to hear a podcast of that, just
Yeah,
tell us.
if you want bonus episodes of me and the other Ben Lilja talking about High School Musical, the musical, the series, we can do it. Yeah, okay. So Corbin Bleu, he also is just kind of like around Disney Channel, like a couple episodes here and there of like Hannah Montana or
Usually to
whatever.
promote whatever DCOM he's in.
Yeah.
He also did music, right?
I didn't really look into his music career. I think he did though. He was the runner up of Dancing with the Stars in like
I
2013.
feel like I remember that
Yeah.
actually. I never watched Dancing with the Stars, but you always somehow find out the results.
Yeah.
And what? He's a good dancer
No
when he
way.
does
I
dancing?
know like Milo Manheim was on it
But his
fairly
song is I Don't
recently.
Dance.
They just like bring dancers on Dancing with the Stars. It's kind of unfair. Okay, he's also been on like Broadway or maybe it's just theater, like whatever. I don't know what counts as Broadway, what
It's the
doesn't.
size of the stage.
Whatever.
It's stupid.
He's been just to name a few things. He's been in the Heights as Uznavi. He was in Hairspray as Seaweed, and he was in Mamma Mia as Sky, playing opposite Dove Cameron.
Pretty cool.
Pretty fun.
Changing of the guard.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Is that all you have for
That's all I have
Corbin?
for Corbin
I have
Bleu.
one thing I want to mention in. He was in a children's film that I always liked as a kid,
Oh, what
and
is
it's
it?
probably really shitty.
What is it?
Catch That Kid with Kristen Stewart. It's
Oh.
like basically Ocean's 11 but for kids.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, apparently the movie was bad. I've not watched it in a long time.
Apparently, it's
But
fun.
I've read the reviews and I'm like, this is going to be cool. They like turn an Xbox controller to control go-karts. And like apparently it was bad.
When you watch a movie as a kid and you're like, this is such a cool movie, and then you become an adult and you're like, dang, that movie actually sucked.
Yeah.
All right, next for our cast, we have Mary, who's played by Kiki Palmer.
Shout out Kiki Palmer.
Heck yeah. She, for me at least, is best known for her role on True Jackson VP, which was a Nickelodeon show. It was a great Nickelodeon show. I enjoyed it. She was also in one of the most notorious Nickelodeon movies, Rags. I have never seen Rags, but people say it's genuinely good. I believe it came out around the same time Let It Shine came out, and they're like similar. And so people just paid more attention to like Let It Shine, you
Mhm.
know? And Disney movies are just generally bigger than
They're bigger
Nickelodeon
movies.
movies.
Nickelodeon tried them as a copy of Disney.
Yeah. But people really like Rags. I've never seen it, but maybe if we ever do bonus episodes of Nickelodeon movies, we should check it out. I do want to cover Spectacular. We know this. She more recently was in the movie Nope, which Benji can talk about because I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, it's the third Jordan Peele film.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's a good movie like his other ones.
Cool.
And it's creepy and scary, and there's aliens, and she's very good in it.
Nice.
She's a good actress.
I know, and she doesn't do a lot of acting. At least of late. Like that's kind of her biggest thing she's done lately. So it's cool that she's still out there and is a good actress.
I think she was also in Hustlers, which was pretty big.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's another movie that was like basically, I might be misremembering this plot or combining with something else, but it's like a whole strip club who start stealing money off of the rich guys who are like oogling them during the recession.
Oh, okay. Cool. She was in Grease Live. Remember Grease Live? Vanessa Hudgens was in that. She also has done some voice acting, so she was in Lightyear. That came out like a year ago. And she was in some of the Ice Age movies. She was the daughter of the main mammoth.
Fun.
Yeah. So that's Kiki Palmer. Next we have Izzy's dad. He is played by David Reavers. He is Corbin Bleu's actual real life father.
That is the one thing I knew about him. I don't know if he's done
Yeah.
anything else.
Like he's done a little. He's also in High School Musical 3 as Corbin Bleu's father, as
What?
Chad's father, you know. So he's played Corbin Bleu's dad twice in DCOMs, two separate DCOMs.
Iconic.
Yeah. He was also in the 13th year as math teacher.
Huge role.
Huge role math teacher. He was in the movie Malcolm X, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know how big of a role, but you know. And he's also just done like an episode here and there of various shows, probably just like minor roles. So
He's not a big actor.
no.
But you can get someone with real chemistry with Corbin Bleu.
Yeah, like
their relationship's great in this movie.
Yeah, their chemistry as father and son is so good, and it's because they're actually father and son. And that's awesome. Like, it's so cool that they casted it that way. I don't know how much of that was planned. If they like wrote the movie and then was like, let's get Corbin Bleu. Hey, Corbin, who should be your dad? And Corbin goes, my real dad. I have no idea. Next, we have Rodney. He is played by Patrick Johnson Jr. He has not really done anything else. So we'll move on. We have Karen, who is Izzy's younger sister. She is played by Kylie Russell. I'm about to blow your freaking mind.
I'm ready to
because my mind was blown. Kylie Russell is Eliza in Zombies.
Wow.
I know, your mind is blown right now.
That just feels like such... Yeah, I mean, the time matches up, but it doesn't...
It's like 10 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is wild. Wow.
I was like, oh, I'll look up like who the younger sister was. She probably hasn't done anything. Nope, just kidding. She's in Zombies. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all she's done. Especially lately.
She's like one of the main characters in Zombies.
She is.
Which is a trilogy of DCOMs.
Yeah. And in the last Zombies movie, she's like kind of in it. She was pregnant during it.
Does this mean she's one of the DCOM queens?
She's got been in 4 DCOMs. But 3 of them are connected.
Yeah. So no Brenda Song, but
well, I mean, you can say the same thing about Dove Cameron, like. Yeah,
but no, there's like multiple people who've had 4, but we have not found anyone else who's hit 5 other than Brenda Song.
Yeah, Brenda Song is the DCOM queen. Next we have Shauna. Okay, so we have Shauna and Keisha. They were the other members of the Hot Chili Steppers.
Yes.
So I thought like I should put them in here.
They're not really like characters, but
they
definitely have a lot of lines.
They're important though, right? Yeah. I know why don't they feel like characters
than they are characters?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing distinguishing the two of them.
I know, it's kind of sad because like they should be more important than.
But like I think that's just a cut for time thing, and I completely get it. There's enough relationships in this movie they want to get to.
I could not have told you their names by the end of the movie. Like, I'm sure they say it, but I could not tell you. I had to, like, make sure that these are the correct character names. So Shauna is played by Shanika Knowles. She actually was in 17 episodes of Hannah Montana.
Okay.
As Amber.
I'm not big enough Hannah Montana fan for you.
I think that's just, like, one of the, like, popular girls at school that Miley, like, beefs with, but I'm not sure. She was in 3 episodes of Unfabulous, which is a Nickelodeon show. And apparently it was rumored that she was like related to Beyonce. Because when
same last name.
Oh, is that why?
Beyonce Knowles.
I didn't know that was Beyonce's last name. Okay, that makes way more sense. I'm like, why did they randomly think this girl is related to Beyonce? Because I was looking up this actress and one of the Google searches was like, is she related to Beyonce? No, it's not true. Keisha is played by Liven Green. She hasn't really done anything else. And finally, I just kind of clicked around to the rest of the cast, and the only one I thought I probably should mention that's like done something of note, or at least to me, is the character Lil Earl Jackson, which I'm pretty sure is like the sexist friend
I think
because
that's
it's
a
little
sexist
because he's
friend.
like smaller, so he's
Yeah.
Lil Earl. He's played by Micah Williams. He's in 26 episodes of Good Luck Charlie.
Okay.
So
Stayed in the Disney ecosystem.
yeah. Like I tried to, I looked up like Tammy and the character Tammy, and like she hadn't really done anything else, or the guy that she likes, like no.
No,
So,
there's a lot of characters who would normally meet our quota for deserves a mention in here because there's just a decent amount of dialogue in this
yeah.
movie.
It's pretty well, I was about to say it's like pretty much all dialogue, but there is
No,
also a good bit of jump roping.
It's a lot of action and a lot of jumping. There's not a lot of wasted time in this.
Which is
But
good.
then again, like it's just like a lot of people talking to each other, not necessarily for a long time, but just in a lot of different scenes.
It's kind of nice. I feel like this movie doesn't drag.
It doesn't at all.
Which a lot of DCOMs do.
And this DCOM absolutely could have, but it doesn't.
Yeah, which is good. All right, now it's time for our fun facts. Okay, so there's 2 songs in this movie, at least that I like really count as releasing songs for this movie. There's like a whole soundtrack, but these are the 2 I care about. Okay, so there's "Push It to the Limit." That song by Corbin Bleu. And then there's "It's My Turn Now," which is sung by Keke Palmer.
The two leads of the movie each have a song that plays in like the climax.
But also bonus, there's a Drew Seeley song on the soundtrack.
You love yourself some Drew Seeley.
Drew Seeley just be releasing songs for these movies without actually being in any of them. This poor guy was supposed to be Troy Bolton, and he wasn't.
For the better, let's be fair.
I listened to the song, and I think it might have been one of the songs in like the kind of sad-ish montages, So
there's a lot of different times music plays.
Yeah.
And they almost every jump or every song has something to do with jump rope.
Yeah, jump.
It's like kind of funny.
So this film was originally set to star Raven-Symoné. And be named Double Dutch. But due to her busy schedule at the time, it was later revamped into Jump In with Corbin Bleu.
I feel like I don't know how this movie works. The plot probably was a good bit different.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole dynamic of this movie is Corbin Bleu and Keke Palmer.
Yeah, so I saw this fact, but then I saw another fact that said Raven was supposed to play Mary. But I wonder if like she was supposed to be the main character, but then they changed it. But that like changes the whole plot, is that it's about this boy who wants to do double dutch instead of boxing. So I have no idea. So the actors in this movie did learn how to double dutch. But they also had like stunt doubles doing some of the tricks for them. And also a lot of the like kind of background characters / performers are actual double dutch competitors.
That makes sense. Yeah. No reason you don't need actors to learn how to do double dutch when you can just get people who double dutch.
Yeah. Also, China Anne McClain was supposed to be in this movie too. Like she auditioned and got it, but then she turned it down to star in the television series
Ant Farm?
Tyler Perry's House of Pain.
Oh, that was a thing. That was a thing. I didn't
she was too young.
On it. Yeah. She was probably like what Karen was going to be, wasn't?
Yeah. I think she was a kid.
Yeah.
Because it was like a decent bit before Ant Farm. So
she's younger.
Yeah. And finally, Jump In broke the record previously set by the Cheetah Girls 2 as the highest rated DCOM premiere with 8.2 million viewers. This, of course, was beat later by High School Musical 2. But this means, so after High School Musical 2 came out, Corbin Bleu starred in 3 #1 hit DCOMs. Because it went High School Musical, Jump In, High School Musical 2. And those are like the 3 DCOMs he's in.
Wait, didn't you just say it beat Cheetah Girls 2, though?
Yeah, but I'm saying he hit #1 3 times. Like, yeah, Cheetah Girls...
Oh, Cheetah Girls 2 was after
High School Musical, but before Jump In.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, wow. He was 3... Yeah, he was... This is why we as kids thought he was a big deal.
He was like one of the biggest stars ever,
Like,
right?
how did he not turn this into more?
I feel like people know who Corbin Bleu is.
People do, but like I feel like he should have a more steady career than having to go back to High School Musical and keep dripping in that like bucket.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. You ready for the Disney Plus description?
Give me the DPDC.
Brooklyn teenager Izzy Daniels is training to become a boxing champ because that's his dad's dream. But he's intrigued by the cool moves involved in double dutch and agrees to help out his neighbor Mary when she needs a fourth member on her jump rope team. The sport takes more talent and teamwork than Izzy ever expected, and along the way, he learns it's more important to follow his own heart.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Now let's jump in to the movie.
all right. We spent long enough. All right. The movie is They Jump Rope.
The end. Goodbye.
But it does start on him jump roping.
It does. So we open on some jump roping and a narrator, right? We see this movie takes place in Brooklyn, and I don't know if someone says this, but I wrote, "Look at that kid move. He can jump rope."
I don't think anyone says that. This is like a musical intro.
Did I just write
You
that?
probably just wrote that. I think it's just Izzy.
Actually, I think the narrator says, like, "Look at that kid move."
You sure?
Like, yeah. Because they're like, wow, look at Izzy Daniels. Like, he's so athletically talented. And then he starts, like, running down the street and doing parkour and, like, backflips and stuff,
It's basically the opening to Aladdin.
but with no one chasing him.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's really what it feels like.
And I wrote, is he Spider Man?
And we never get the answer to that.
He could be Spider
He
Man.
could be Spider-Man.
Yeah. And then Izzy runs over to some girls jumping rope. They're like double dutching. And then Izzy jumps in, but he like ruins it. And Mary's like, get out. Stop messing with us. We got to practice. The regional competition is Friday. And he's like, fine, whatever. And he leaves. And Mary's like, I hate him. But the other girls are like,
You love him.
you like him. So, yeah.
They're a good. Everything in this movie is generically pretty good. Their relationship is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Izzy goes home and his dad is making chili. And also we see Izzy's little sister. And the dad sucks at making chili and cake. And you also learn that the mom is probably dead.
The mom is dead.
Yeah. Well, we know that for sure. But like we don't know for sure right now, but we know for sure later.
Yeah, I guess at this point it could have been like it would be weird to do this in a divorce.
Yeah, no, it's very heavily implied because he's like, oh, I tried to make it just like your mom did. So
yeah.
Yeah. We also learned that Izzy's dad was a boxer back in the day, and now he's like bonding over it with Izzy. So yeah. See, we're already breezing through this. Okay, so now we're at the gym, the like boxing gym, which we learned throughout the movie that like the dad owns the gym.
This is the dad's gym. We also like in one of the throwaway lines earlier, like his dad was also. Well, the dad was a champion.
Why? Yeah, I just mentioned that we learned
his dad's dad.
Oh, the grandpa. Right, I missed that. Yeah.
Yes. Boxing runs in the family, and Izzy is like really good.
Yeah, he's really good. The narrator was like, he's gonna be champion. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that there's a narrator. Okay, we'll talk about this in a minute.
Well, probably like 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. So he's at the gym. And Izzy runs in to train, and his dad is there. And he learns he has to fight Rodney, who's the only other undefeated kid at the gym for boxing. But Izzy's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna go to Golden Gloves, which is apparently some like prestigious boxing competition.
I think he's already in Golden Gloves.
No, he has to.
I thought this was an exhibition match.
I think he has to beat Rodney because they probably only send like one kid.
Okay. I thought he was already in, and the match against Rodney was like an exhibition training match, but it really has no relevance.
No, it doesn't.
The plot twist. Izzy wins that fight in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So you'll hear about that soon.
Yeah. Okay, so now Izzy's training and he has some fancy little feet He's doing some footwork, and the dad's like, "Hey, stay focused, okay?" And then he's like doing more training stuff, and the dad's like, "Stop showboating," and is like, "There's no shame in feeling proud." Whatever, they're doing boxing stuff, and then Tammy, the girl
She's
boxer,
a girl
she's a
who
girl.
boxes.
She comes in to train, and um Izzy's friends are there, and they're like making fun of her for like being a girl.
Yeah.
And
There's one friend, the little John Jay or whatever.
yeah,
He
whatever his name
literally,
is,
I think 80% of the lines he says in this movie
are
is
just
just
sexist.
literally sexist.
Yeah,
That's the point of his character, to be sexist. We
yeah.
don't get why they're friends.
And like the other friend is also doing it, but also he likes
And
Tammy.
definitely less.
Yeah, definitely less. But also I know like the dad was just like, "Oh, hey Tammy, yeah, I'll come train with you for a second." Like the dad's super chill about it. He's like, "Yeah, I'll train you." Like he owns the gym, and he's not sexist, so that's cool. Okay, so then that night we see Mary's dancing in her room, and this is where we see that like they live, are they houses or is it an apartment? It's gotta be an apartment, right?
It feels like a house, but it's got to be an apartment.
There's like fire
It's got to be
escapes
an
in the
apartment.
back.
They're hanging out on fire
It's just like a
escapes.
2-story apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their like fire escapes are in the same little strip. So they like talk to each other
They
all the
can go
time.
out of their windows and talk
Yeah.
on the fire escapes, which I don't know if this movie was the first one for it, but I loved my childhood and how I grew up and everything. But the one like idealistic thing about theoretically living in a city to me would be the hanging out on a fire escape with a friend, shooting like the breeze, just by yourself but outdoors. I don't
Because
know why that's always been like
it feels cool.
it's so romantic to me. Not so even like
Not even
relationship
like
wise,
relationship wise.
just like
Idealistic.
romanticizing
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
That feels like a trope I want to be in.
Yeah. So we see Mary's dancing in her room, and Izzy looks up from his bedroom. And then he like teases her about it, like, "Oh, you're dancing, whatever." And they go to bed. So then cut to a new day. Dad is trying to do Karen, his little sister. He's trying to do her hair, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not doing a good job. Um, so then dad goes to take a phone call, and Izzy comes over to help Karen with her hair.
Don't know what he does because the next scene is fine.
I think he just like braids it better or like puts it in a better style. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But he does something, and they just kind of bond over of like, "Oh, we miss mom. Like mom used to do this kind of stuff, you know."
Yeah.
Um, so then dad's like, "Oh, I gotta go fix a leak at the gym. So Izzy, you have to take Karen to the double dutch competition." Karen is just like a fan of
She
double
is. She's just
dutch,
very into it.
and she loves Mary, which makes sense. Like they're neighbors,
Yeah.
so she just loves Mary and loves watching her do double dutch.
Yeah. That's
So
just it's a reasonable everything in this movie makes sense.
yeah. So Izzy's friends are like, "Let's go to the movies," but he's like, "No, I have to take my sister to double dutch." And they're like, "Oh, double dutch. Don't you wear like tutus and your ballerina and double dutch?" Which is just like so far off. Like, dude, it's like you're jumping rope. Like, what is confusing about this? Why do you have to be a dick? Is double dutch stereotypically female? Because I feel like it's not.
I want to make this argument. This is my devil's advocate. I think this is quite possibly one of the fields societies has gotten best at in the last 15 years since this movie has come out. I'm not saying it's from this movie because it's almost certainly not, but just women in boxing, for instance. Like when Ronda Rousey was a whole thing, she was like a big deal within the whole fighting world. And that was a whole different aspect of it. Whereas yeah, there was a time, at least I remember my childhood. I wasn't old enough to maybe be more enlightened mind, but I remember there were stigmatized sports. And now I don't feel like that's necessarily the case. And that's something that's really good to me, just in terms of you can play X sport, just doesn't matter your gender. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool to play a sport.
No one's gonna say, "Oh, that sport is for this gender."
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
no,
like
it's
that's just
way less
way
of a thing.
better nowadays,
Yeah.
especially for these more individual sports. for things like boxing, you know?
I don't know if double dutch is just too niche for me to know if it was like typically a girl thing or if Jump In just made that up.
I think it was just from my knowledge of playground behaviors.
Is it because like girls would play jump rope on the
Yeah,
playground? What guys would never play jump rope on the
less.
playground? What the heck? Jump rope is fun. I used to jump rope. I guess I'm a girl though.
Yeah,
And you
you
used to jump rope?
not really. I never learned how to double dutch.
I did. I didn't do it a lot though. Like typically you just do the one rope because that's way easier.
Yeah, I couldn't jump in.
I think I was able to do it in elementary school. At least once.
Like I did it not occasionally, but I would always just go out and play like football on the playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Such a guy thing, Benji. What the heck?
hey,
Um
women can play football too.
Anyway, while they're like walking down the street on their way to the double dutch competition, they come upon Rodney, who's bullying a nerd by like holding out a basketball. So that was the nerd's basketball, okay? You think you could be cool with a
He's
basketball,
like pinning
nerd?
him up on a telephone pole or
Yeah.
whatever.
And his like friends right behind him. I thought he was also bullying the friend at first.
No, the,
No,
the
they
friend's just like the homie who's the hype
yeah,
man.
he's Rodney's hype man. Um so he took the nerd's basketball and we get the narrator again. Okay. The narrator's like, that's Rodney. He's trouble. We're gonna spoil the plot twist.
They they act like this is such a plot twist, and we need to spoil it
Which
now.
I've seen like I don't know if it was like TikTok or just somewhere on the internet. People are like, "Oh my god, the plot twist at the end of Jump In blew my mind as a kid." So the plot twist is that Rodney is the narrator and he's telling the story of Jump In to kids, and you learn that at the end of the
The
movie.
very end of the movie, the
Yeah.
last 30
Like,
seconds.
oh my god, Rodney the bully was narrating the whole time.
Watching this movie with that knowledge makes every single narrator line very
It's so funny
funny.
because most of the narrator lines are him talking about Rodney. So he's like, Rodney was bad news in the neighborhood. Like, did he tell the kids that he's Rodney?
I don't know.
The kids are like, why are you talking about yourself in the third person?
They're kids. They don't know what third person is.
they, don't, they don't know. Or is his name not Rodney? Is his name like Paul? And he's like, Rodney was bad news. And then at the end of the story, he's like, guys, it was me. His name wasn't Rodney. His name was Paul.
We can talk more about this in an hour when we're actually at that point of the movie. But
Just
just
know
know whenever we're talking about the narrator, it's Rodney.
it's Rodney. And that makes it funnier. Okay. So Izzy and Rodney are like talking smack about their fight. And Rodney says, see you in the ring, loser. So he just calls Izzy loser all the time, which is pretty uncreative, but whatever.
Hey, he's here to fight people, not come up with insults. That's what the hype man's for, but the hype man's just bad.
Hype man just goes like, yeah. Okay, so now they go to the double dutch competition, and the girls go say hi to Mary and her team. And Mary is nervous, and her friends go, maybe your boyfriend can help you feel better. They're talking about Izzy, right?
Everyone knows they're crushes
Yeah,
on each
everyone
other.
knows that they crush on each other, but they pretend like they're not, but they are. And then the Dutch Dragons come up. They're another double Dutch team.
Pretty good name. Just
It's
gonna
pretty
say
cool.
that. Dutch Dragons.
It's
And they
pretty
have like
cool.
their own logo and everything. It's
Yeah,
good.
everyone has their own logo.
Yeah,
It's
it's
actually
pretty
pretty
wild.
sick. So the Dutch Dragons come up to like talk smack about their new fourth member. So the Mary's team, they're the Joy Jumpers.
Mhm.
They have like a new fourth member, and the Dutch Dragons are like, nah, you guys suck. And I guess that was it. So we just like got that little intro of like, oh, that's their competition.
That's the bad team. They're
Yeah.
all white.
For now. Okay, so then we see the jump rope competition stuff. And the first round, I forgot what it was called, but they have to like do some skills of like hop on one leg and do a little twist. I don't know. Um, and Izzy's like low key kind of into it, right?
Mhm.
And then they do the speed part where you see how many steps like per minute you can do. And so Mary's doing this part and Izzy's watching and he goes, "Do it."
He's getting into it, but
He's
he
so into it.
still has to act like he hates it.
Yeah. And then Mary like stops before anyone else and they all clap. So we like assume that she was the
I still
fastest.
think so.
I mean, she won that part of the
Yeah.
competition, so I don't know. We don't know exactly how it works, but
They
everyone
don't they
clap
don't
for her.
really explain. There's 3 parts to the competition. Karen says every part is her favorite.
Yeah.
And it's you do like specific routine of just individual jumps. You do fast
Fast.
and
And
you
then you do
do a little
freestyle.
dance.
You do a little dance. And they do some fun tricks. And Izzy's like having fun. And the narrator, who's Rodney, he like confirms that Izzy's having fun. Okay. Okay, so then we see after the competition, they're like, "Yay, we did it! We made it to regionals." Like they didn't get first, but they
They
qualified.
got fourth.
They got fourth. So is it like top four
Yeah.
qualify? Probably. Maybe top five. I don't know. And the Dutch Dragons come to talk more shit because they won.
They got first overall.
Yeah. And then one of the team members says that their routine sucked.
I think this is
And
Yolanda.
oh yeah, this is Yolanda. Yolanda's like,
She's the one that's new to the team.
yeah. And she's like, our routine sucked, and that's why we didn't win. And Mary's like, Yolanda, I came up with that routine. What do you mean? It took
Hours.
me forever, and we still qualified. So, like, what are you complaining
Let's
about?
celebrate.
Let's celebrate that we qualified. And Yolanda's like, whatever, it sucked. Right, Izzy? And Izzy's like,
Why
why
bring
you
Izzy into it? Doesn't make any sense.
well, look what Izzy says. She's like, why are you bringing me into this? I'm leaving. Like, I have nothing to do with
First
this.
off, he's trying to act like he doesn't like this, even though he does.
Even though he does.
B, this is his first time watching. He can't really be like, that was bad or that was good. He doesn't know what he's looking for.
Yeah.
See, there's 2 other teammates right behind you, Yolanda. You could ask.
No, they're on Mary's side. Okay. So now it's a new day at school. And Rodney is it's kind of like after school and Izzy is seeing this happen. Rodney's getting a bag of clothes from a teacher. And the narrator, remember, this is Rodney. He says, Rodney was the toughest guy in the ring and the schoolyard.
Loves that just self-confidence. Like, I was so cool.
He was the toughest guy around, guys. But at home, he was just a poor kid with problems.
Yeah. They mentioned like later explicitly that his dad's out of work.
He's
yeah.
poor. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting like
Clothes.
Neighbors and teachers are like giving stuff to him.
Yeah. But then he saw Izzy down the hall and he throws the clothes away. He's like, I don't need these.
Yep.
I'm not poor. But he is.
Is that why you think this is like Let It Shine? Because that one also has trying to hide your poor.
There's so many similarities.
The villain is trying to hide their poor.
Villain is poor, but pretends like they're not. Problems with your dad, secret hobby, love interest.
Black. I'll say it.
I'm trying not to have that be the only comparison, okay? All right, so now Izzy does some more training with his little jump rope and he's punching the air. And now it's time for the fight against Rodney. So let's go. They're in the ring. We learned that Rodney is 158 pounds and Izzy is 148 pounds. So there's 10 pounds difference.
Which I'm like the only fights I've really ever seen have been like professional fights where they like starve themselves for a full day to be like 0.0 pounds perfect the weight limit and then bulk back up. So like everyone's like so gaming their weight that it's kind of weird to have a 10-pound difference, but I don't actually know how boxing works. I'm glad the kids here don't do that.
Yeah. All right.
But it looks like the difference between their weights would be more than 10 pounds. More like 25, 30.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney's a big dude.
Yeah. So, Dad tells Izzy, Just like, wait him out. Find your rhythm. You got this. Because at first, Izzy's kind of losing, you know?
Izzy's getting hit.
Yeah. But then the dad's like, just find your rhythm, okay? Wait him out. So then
Do a
Izzy
little
finds his rhythm.
dance.
Yeah, do a little dance. Make a little love. Get down tonight.
Oh, I
Izzy.
don't want them to make love in that ring.
Um, I wrote that the fighting looks and sounds like Wii boxing.
It is not realistic, like video here. The fight, I
The
kept
sound
saying,
effects.
well, I was more kept saying, like, it doesn't look like Corbin Blue's punches have any weight behind them.
No, they
And,
don't.
and
It's
yeah, they're
stage
not
fighting.
gonna, it's really hard probably to stage boxing. That's a sport that would be hard to like
Yeah,
accurately do to like have fists come with actual power that could knock someone out.
yeah,
Because then you could easily mess someone up and actually knock someone out, you know?
yeah,
It's hard to stage that. So I'm not gonna harp on the movie too much for that, but it's not realistic looking.
yeah. So then Rodney goes down and Izzy wins. Yay, Izzy
Yeah.
won.
Note that there was no like cutaway or anything that suggested that this was anything other than just a normal earned Izzy victory.
Yep.
Because Rodney will claim otherwise
Later,
later.
yeah. And then we get this scene where it's like nighttime and Izzy's ding dong ditching a house. But we learn it's Rodney's house and he left him a bag of clothes.
Yeah, he took the clothes that
Well, it could have been his own
I
clothes.
think it's the same. That's how I interpreted.
Okay. And the narrator's like, Rodney never would have guessed that it was Izzy that left the clothes.
It's just way funny because that line it totally works as a narrator if it's anyone but
Rodney.
Rodney.
Rodney's saying this about himself.
Yeah.
Okay. So cut to Yolanda quitting the team.
It's just a hard cut to Yolanda just like in a doorway being like, I'm done.
I'm done. And Mary's crying, saying, please don't do this. And Yolanda says, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to win.
Shout out Yolanda. She's the worst and it's great. She just
So
comes to this
funny.
team and just goes, I quit.
She takes it so seriously. She's like, you guys suck. And she doesn't try to better them.
No.
At least not in a good way. She just yells at Mary that
She's
their
like,
routine sucks.
You're bad and you should feel bad.
Yeah, you guys suck. I'm out. She joins the Dutch Dragons. One of the plot holes or whatever that's on IMDb is that the Dutch Dragons already have 4 members.
Yeah, but they probably had one who's worse.
So they're like, yeah, Yolanda, you can join. They change half their team because they're all white, right? And then I think
No, it's just one black.
Oh, it is
it's
just one. I thought
Yolanda.
maybe there were 2 black people at the
No.
end, but okay, never mind. It's just Yolanda. Okay, so fade to Mary on the balcony, and Izzy's like, "What's wrong?" And they're just kind of doing this little flirty thing. It's really cute. And Izzy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Golden Gloves." And then Mary gets called away, and they say goodnight. Yeah, and it's just cute flirty stuff.
Generic hanging out with a friend
Mhm.
who's also gonna be your love interest.
Yeah. All right, so cut to Izzy's friends hyping him up to just a crowd of people. There's just a bunch of people in a circle, and Izzy's friends are like, "Yo, Izzy's the best. He won that match last night." And then Ronnie rolls up, and his Izzy's friends are making fun of him for losing, and Ronnie's like, "I tripped."
Everyone knows it wasn't real.
Yeah, well, Izzy says it doesn't matter. I still won. Whatever. And Ronnie says, "No, I want a rematch." And Izzy's like,
No.
"No, I want no, whatever, dude." But Ronnie's like, "No, we're doing a rematch." And Izzy's like, "Just let it go." And Ronnie's like, "Oh, you're chicken." And then he walks away in slow motion.
He still is a bully despite losing the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just can't accept that he lost. Which it did say before he was undefeated before.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah. He's the toughest guy in the ring
Around.
and the schoolyard. Okay, so cut to the 3 girls talking about finding a new 4th member. And then Izzy rolls up and he's teasing them about double dutch.
It's anyone can do that.
Yeah.
My sister's here if you need her.
Yeah, oh, it's playground stuff. And they're like, yeah, Yolanda joined the Dutch Dragons. Oh, it sucks. And Izzy's like, anyone can do that. And Mary's like, well, then you do it if it's so easy. And they're like, we'll show you how it's done. So then Mary jumps in. Get it? She jumps into the double dutch. And the other two girls are going like, yeah, yeah, Mary, yeah, you got this.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
killing it.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I just thought that was silly. And then Izzy tries to jump in, but he fails the first time. But then he does it
He
again.
plays it off like I'm joking.
Like he's like, let me go again, let me go again. And then he wants to try again. And this time he makes it in and he's like starting to go faster. And they're
killing it.
And they're like, whoa.
He's like, I jump rope for boxing.
Yeah, he's never done double dutch,
No.
but he picked it up really
They
fast.
say that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's like, enough said, and then he walks away. And you can tell the girls are like, damn. Okay. So then I didn't talk about this earlier, but one of the like it was the ref for the match and he like helps them train. It's like this older guy.
Yeah.
He was like spitting wisdom at the guys at one point.
We haven't talked about it. Basically, the one other person who works at the gym is this just it's a ref for the boxing match.
Yeah.
And his entire role is to just every like fifth scene say like one line of wisdom.
Yeah. It's like he's Izzy's dad when it doesn't make sense for Izzy's dad to be there. Yeah. He'll just come in and give wisdom.
There's a lot of characters in this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wrote like ref/coach gives more wisdom to Izzy as he jumps rope in the gym. He does this a lot, I guess. He just like appears sometimes.
This movie does the same motions again and again, and it's fine because the movie never drags. It doesn't feel like it's repeating itself. There's always a consistent arc of action, but the entire movie is a will he, won't he of will Izzy be on the team for double dutch.
Yeah. So the way I take notes is I kind of put them in sections and I make little titles for all of the sections, but basically like scenes of the movie, right? And after the movie, when we went to title, Benji was like, "Oh, you go make dinner because we like want to eat. I'll title all your sections for you." And the vast majority of them are Izzy decides not to be on the team or Izzy decides to be on the team because that's like all the movie is.
It's just, yeah, he keeps going like, I don't want to be a girl, but double dutch is fun. But people will make fun of me. But I'm good at it.
But double dutch is fun. But my dad will be disappointed. Like double dutch. It's like the whole movie.
That's the whole movie.
Okay, so then the girls find Izzy at the gym and they're like, "Hey, you want to be on our team?" And he says, "You're tripping." And he's like, "I can't. I only jump rope for boxing."
He says no.
Yeah, he says no. Over. The movie's over. Goodbye. No. They're like, "We really need you." And he's like, "No, sorry." And Mary's like, "Yes, whatever. You're not worth it." Okay, so cut to Izzy running home and Karen tells him that like, "Oh, dad's cooking chili again."
And he just goes, "Well, I'll go get a pizza."
I'll go get a pizza. So he goes to the pizza place and he sees the two teammates that's not Mary from games already.
Shauna and Keisha.
Yeah, they're at the pizza place and they ask him again to fill in the fourth spot. But like they're like, "What if you just fill in until we find a fourth member? So that we can at least like practice.
You can let us practice, develop a new routine, etc., etc."
Yeah. And he's like, "So I wouldn't really be on the team, right?" And they're like, "No, you wouldn't really be on the team." And Mary really wants you. Okay. She really wants you to do it. So he's like, "All right, I'll do it."
And then they cut to Mary saying, "No."
Yeah, Mary's like, "No." And Izzy's there and he's like, "Whatever." And then they like kind of convince Mary. And then he like makes Mary beg basically for it because they're like flirty, right? Yeah. And he says, "Okay, one condition though, I'm only going to do it before school at the gym so that nobody sees me double dutching."
Yeah, they're going to go to the gym at 6 a.m.
because the gym doesn't open till 8 and then they can go to school. So, yeah. So the next morning, Mary wakes Izzy up at his window so that they can go practice at the gym at 6 a.m. And they're like stretching and Izzy's like appalled that they're like taking this seriously and stretching. They're like, why don't you just start double dutching? And they're like, we need to stretch.
It's really dumb because I mean, I guess he's just is not viewing it as a sport still.
But it's still exercise.
Yeah, he stretches before boxing. I refuse to believe he doesn't.
Yeah, he knows what it's like to be athletic. You gotta stretch, my guy.
Yeah, that stupid.
Yeah, so Izzy's like still teasing him about the whole thing, but is also like impressed at what they're doing. Um, and then he like fails to do a little trick, and they're like, "See, it's not that easy." And he's like, "Whatever, I'm just a fill-in, so I don't even really need to learn it." Um, but then they're like, "Whatever, let's just practice." So they start practicing, and Izzy starts to get better. And then we get like a montage of double dutching, and they're like practicing in the street, which totally goes against what he just said about not wanting people to see him.
Yeah, it doesn't really
They're
make
in the
sense.
street. So I don't get why they're doing that. Whatever. We also see him like doing school and boxing, and he's like super tired.
Tired during both of those, but he's
Yeah.
like getting excited to double dutch. He wakes
Yeah.
up with energy and then is tired the rest of the day.
Yeah. So his heart isn't as much into boxing or school.
Yeah, he's like sadly punching the punching bags.
Yeah. And Izzy's like doing like some flips and stuff, and the girls are like really impressed. Like, whoa.
Izzy likes to do flips.
He really does. That's why he likes double dutch. And then at one point, Tammy, you remember the girl boxer? She sees him practicing double dutch in the gym.
Yeah, she notices he's tired at school.
Yeah.
And somehow pieces together.
Well, she
I
just
need to go to the gym early to find out what's
catch
going
him.
on.
Yeah. And then so they're like fighting out or something at one point, and she's like, I'm a girl boxer and you're a boy double dutcher.
Yeah.
Or something.
It was girl boxer 1, boy double dutcher 0.
Yeah. And then so after like practice one day or whatever, Izzy asked Tammy not to tell anyone about the double dutch. And she says, like, yeah, it's fine. I won't tell anyone.
Just don't have your friends be sexist anymore.
Yeah, she's like, I won't tell anyone as long as you stop making jokes about me being a girl. Like, it sucks. It's stupid. And he's like, okay, yeah, deal. Like, Izzy was never the sexist one anyway. It's really more so she's like, have your friends stop making fun of me, please. Okay. So Izzy gets home late that night and he's late to dinner, which is like, ooh, trouble. Dad is like, dinner is at 7 in this house. And Izzy goes, maybe some things need to change in this house.
Ooh.
And the dad is like, Mom had dinner at 7, so dinner's at 7. Like, damn, Izzy really had an attitude.
Teenage angst coming out.
Yeah. Which I'm on the dad side on this one. Like, Izzy
it's a set time, and it's pretty rude to not be there on the time, especially without like warning.
And he's been like unfocused lately. The dad just doesn't know what's going on with him right now.
We have talked praises before, and will after this episode as well, of Jump In Dad.
We love
being
him.
Our favorite DCOM parent. He is. The whole movie is a lot of it's crux on the point of them two having a strained relationship.
Yeah.
But if you look deeper into it, that's not what's happening. It's Izzy not being able to be true to himself and telling that to his father, who would support him no matter what.
Yeah, it's him not communicating out of fear that his dad would like only cares about boxing, and not realizing that his dad just truly loves him for who he is, right? Like, if they just talked, the problem wouldn't be there. But that's like such a realistic thing of like kids, especially like when one parent has died, it's like the kids are now intimidated by their relationship with their last parent, right? And they're like, I don't know how to talk, especially like it's the mom that died, and that's generally a parent that you have like deeper conversations with, right? So when it's just your dad, like this is just blanket, right? Obviously it's different for every family, but when it's just your dad, it's like harder to get into feelings. And they talk about this later in the movie. So I think it's a good movie.
That's really all this is on saying. Like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's also nothing like crazy special.
Yeah.
This is not an S tier movie for us. It's not a crack in our top 10.
No, but we still like it.
It's a good movie. Yeah. We like it.
Okay. So now we see Izzy's running down the street. and some kids are doing some double dutch tricks, just like some other random kids. And one of the facts that I didn't include is that this was like an actual double dutch team.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so Izzy's like into it. He's like, that's cool. And then he gets to double dutch practice and he's like, hey, Mary, your routine is boring.
It sucks.
You need a new routine. And they're like, yeah, we have the best compulsory, which is what that first round is called. And we have the best compulsory in the speed, but we need to do well in the freestyle if we want to win.
I don't know what ranking scale this is because apparently they can get like first in those two categories and still get fourth overall because they're just that bad at freestyle.
They probably didn't get first in compulsory in that competition, but they got first in speed.
Yeah.
I think they just are saying like we're the best.
I'd also like to point out Mary did the speed and got first under our assumption.
Yeah.
In the final competition, she doesn't do speed.
I have Izzy do it.
Yeah, I'm confused by that still.
And he doesn't win.
No.
So I don't know. Okay. Izzy's like, you guys just need to have more fun, like when you were kids on the playground. So they go to those kids to watch them because the kids are just doing it for fun, right? So they got to just let loose a little bit. Okay, cool. So then at the gym, Izzy's late to like boxing or whatever, and the dad notices. And at one point, Izzy's walking with, I guess I was just like 2 second scene. Because now Izzy's walking with the girls on his double dutch team. And they're like having fun, like shooting the shit, whatever. And then Rodney sees them walking by and like teases Izzy. He's like, oh, you're hanging out with girls. And then Mary dumps water on Rodney.
It would be a goop, but I think we've already agreed pure water is not a goop. But that's just like the whole interaction is he's wet now and they run
and then they run
and
away.
Izzy does flips.
Yeah, he does like flips because he's Spider-Man when he runs away. Cool. So then Izzy and Mary are talking on the balcony. It's like nighttime. And Mary says thank you. And he's like, for what? And she's like, for nothing, everything. I don't know. And then Mary's like, look who likes double dutch now. And Izzy's like, I don't know. I guess I do. I guess I like double dutch. There's something about it. And she's like, do you like it better than boxing? And he's like, I don't know. It's complicated. Like my dad really loves boxing. And then Mary tells the story of like, oh, I did the same thing with ballet and my mom. Like my mom loves ballet and I was in ballet forever. And then I finally told her that I hated ballet and she was relieved because I wasn't
like, you were bad at it.
Yeah, because I wasn't very good at it.
But she was happy, you know?
Yeah. So Mary's like, I finally told her and it was like really great that I did. It's a little different because Izzy is really good at boxing probably, but Izzy doesn't feel like he can do that with his dad at this point. Mm-hmm. Izzy says boxing is all he has, you know, because his mom died. So boxing is like the thing they bond over. So he's like, boxing is all he has. And then Mary says, no, he has you.
Aww.
And then they kiss.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
It's just a cute, like, quick little kiss.
It's
Mary
little
kissed him. Yeah.
She's like, did I just do that?
Yeah.
But not like out loud.
And then she like goes to her room.
Yep.
And Izzy goes to his room and he like smiles. It was so cute. Is so cute. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then the dad goes to the room to lecture Izzy about missing practice. Oh yeah, because he like missed practice that night and he was late for his curfew. He's like, what's been going on with you lately? I know something is up. Are you nervous about the match or what? And Izzy's like, I just don't want to oh no. The dad says, I don't want you to disappoint yourself in the ring. And Izzy's like, no, I promise. Like, it won't happen again. I won't be late. Cool. New day at school. Rodney is bullying Izzy again. And then Izzy's like, oh, don't take my lunch money. And Rodney's like, what? It's because the teacher was an earshot. So.
Got detention.
Yeah, because Rodney's bullying before that wasn't detention worthy.
No, it's just if you steal money.
Yeah, if you steal lunch money, then, you know. And then the teacher's like, you got detention for trying to steal lunch money. She knows this kid is poor and just probably wants to eat, even though that's not what he was doing. Yeah. Okay, so we get some more double dutch training. And Rodney jogs. He's like jogging by and he goes into the gym and he sees them practicing. So like, oh snap. He sees that Izzy's doing double dutch. So he like takes pictures of it. And cool. So then after practice, the girls are like, oh, we still need a fourth person. And Izzy's like, how about me? I'll be your fourth person. And they're like,
Whoa.
what changed your mind? And he's like, I don't want to disappoint you, ladies. And they're like, what about your boys? And he's like, they don't need to know. Like, I'll just be your secret fourth member. I kind of already am.
Yeah.
So cool. They're also like, I think we're ready to do the Double Dutch Showcase. That's in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, also, we need to change our name because the Joy Jumpers, or whatever they were, is lame.
They were called the Joy Jumpers, which is a bad name.
Yeah.
I fully agree.
So he's like, let's be the Hot Chili Steppers.
Yep.
Which is a cool name.
It was good. It's a good name.
It's a good name.
How long did he think about that one?
He's probably been thinking about it for weeks.
Probably since before the kid joined the team. It's like Joy Jumper's kind of lame though.
Yeah. All right, cool. So now it's like the day of the showcase. He just leaves the flyer for the showcase on his dresser, which like this doesn't happen later, but his dad totally could have found that.
Yep.
But he doesn't, so whatever.
No, like this feels like a setup for a scene that never happens.
Yeah. And then Karen blabs that Izzy's leaving as he's like going out the door. And the dad's like, what's up? And Izzy's like, oh, I'm just gonna go spend some time with Mary. And the dad's like, oh, Mary, you've been spending a lot of time with her lately.
You might want to cancel on her though, because I got these boxing tickets.
Yeah, so the dad got these tickets to like a cool boxing match. He's like, you want to go?
Oh, they're like seeing a champion boxer.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dang cool.
It's pretty cool.
But also feel like something that should have been planned out more than one like
I think
day
he
of.
like just got the tickets.
He probably like they had extras at a cheap price and he's like, hey, offer it to some like boxing gym nearby.
Yeah. So cut to the showcase. There's like double dutching happening. And the girls are like, where's Izzy? And then we see Izzy tries to call Mary's house, even though the competition's literally happening right now.
Well, I think that might be editing magic. I think it may have been like the timing was more unequal there.
Okay.
And they like cut that to be dramatic.
Izzy tried to call Mary's house, but she had already left for the competition.
The mom answers and says, she's gone. This is the one scene
gone.
of Mary's mom.
Yeah.
Other than like end credits.
Yeah, well, she's there at the final competition.
Yeah.
But cell phones weren't really a thing. This was 2007. So that he tried to call her home, but that's the only way to reach her. So he didn't get a hold of them. And the 3 girls are like, guess we just have to go on without him.
Mm-hmm.
And they go on, but we don't get to see it. It like cuts away. So we know that Izzy never showed up. He went to the boxing match with his dad.
As you do. I mean, everyone's going to be mad at him because it is definitely a dick thing to do.
Yeah. No,
because
it
he just left
is.
them there to die.
Yeah. After like
a couple days after joining the team.
Yeah.
And saying, let's do this when other people are like, I'm hesitant.
Yeah. He like kind of convinced them to do it and then he doesn't show up. So that night, Dad and Izzy get home. Dad is like, hey, you okay? Like, it seemed like your mind was somewhere else. And Izzy's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm good. It was fun. And then he calls for Mary outside the window. And she's really mad. And he's like, I'm sorry. I went to a boxing match with my dad. And Mary's like, are you serious? Like, you were at a boxing match? That's why you ditched on us? Like, she's like, you asked us to be on the team. And then you didn't show up. And Izzy's like, I had to. Like, what do you want me to do? And Mary says, I want you to make a choice.
Mm-hmm. It's a valid response
and
there.
he says, I couldn't make a choice. And she says, fine, then I'll make it for you. You're off the team. Like, this is important to me, and you didn't take it seriously, so you're out. Which is so reasonable.
And valid.
Like, I am so on Mary's side right now.
The characters in this movie make sense.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And he's like, I had no choice. And it's like, no, you did. You chose to let your team down. Like, you could have told your dad no. And I know it's hard when you feel like you need a bond with your dad, but like, come on. Okay, so then at the gym, they're watching Tammy train, and the little sexist friend is like, lucky punch. And Izzy goes, no,
it was just a good punch.
A good punch. And he goes, well, good for a girl. And Izzy's like, no, good for anybody.
And then Izzy punches him.
No. He says, no, good for anybody. Tammy's a good boxer. Like, just in general. Girls can box too. And just like guys can do other stuff, okay? He's like fed up and he like leaves. And the other friend is like into her. We haven't really talked about this, but Tammy and this friend are like into each other.
Mhm.
And so he's like, yeah, Izzy's right. Tammy is good. And Sex's friend is like, what?
Sexism not funny?
What? Okay, so then the three girls on the Chili Steppers are talking about getting Izzy back. Well, the two girls. And Mary's like, no, I don't want Izzy back. And the girls were like, come on. He already apologized a million times. And like his dad's got ticket to a match. He didn't do it on purpose.
He literally did it
He
on
literally
purpose.
did. This is like, we're so on Mary's side right now. It's like, oh, he had no choice. Like, no, he literally had a choice. But like, I don't know. I might also just let him back on the team. Like,
They
it
need
sucked.
him more than he needs them.
Yeah. Which sucks because it's like he's good and
The
they need a
justice
fourth
there
member.
doesn't fit, but that's how it is.
Yeah. And then we see on the balconies, Mary is ignoring Izzy some more. So then Izzy gets to school and there's like pictures and drawings of Izzy doing double dutch all over the walls in pink paper.
It is literally probably 700 pieces of paper.
It's all over the place.
It's so much. How did Rodney have enough time for this?
He
Did we
stole
even
it.
mention Rodney sneaking in and taking photos of this?
I did.
Okay. That, it feels like that was a while ago and I didn't remember us talking about it.
Yeah.
But Rodney went hee,
picture. Yeah.
And now everyone in the school thinks this is very funny. No one's like, okay, which I
Like-
feel like a lot of people would be
Like,
not
oh, okay.
caring.
He's doing double dutch.
Literally, he can't make it 5 seconds without someone making fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part's unrealistic to me, even in 2007.
Yeah. Even Izzy's friends are making fun of him, which we know that one friend is like sexist and stupid. But he's like, "Oh, you look so pretty." And Izzy goes, "Your mom is so pretty." Bird, am I right? And then Ronnie comes over to make fun of him, and it's stupid. And then Izzy runs away, and Mary's like, "Oh no." And then there's a sad song montage of like Izzy's looking at pictures of his mom, and it's sad. And then the dad like breaks a plate while doing the dishes, and he's also sad about the mom being
And also
dead.
looks at a picture of the mom.
Yeah.
Like, our family's broken.
And then Mary tries to talk to Izzy through the window, but he ignores it, and it's sad. And literally, people are still making fun of him like days later.
It doesn't make
It doesn't make sense.
Maybe it's just how much paper was being used.
Just like random kids on the street are like making fun of him. Like, is it really that lame
No.
to double dutch? It's weird.
The girls are making fun of him too, by the way. Like, not the team, but the girls at school.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
It's not just the boys being boys.
It's weird.
It's the biggest plot hole of this movie.
All right, so now it's time for the emotional climax of the movie. At home, Dad has a surprise for Izzy. It's like a little charm of golden boxing gloves that he got from his dad when he won the Golden Glove competition. So it's like really important, right? Also, you noted that it's been so long since we've heard the narrator, which is so true. Like, I bet you forgot there was a narrator. So did we. We don't hear him still for a little bit. So. Okay, so then Dad goes into Izzy's room to leave the charm like on his bed, and then he finds the like pink paper of the pictures of him double dutching. So when Izzy gets home, the dad like comes downstairs to confront him. And Karen says like, "Oh yeah, people are laughing at him for being on Mary's team." And Izzy says, "Shut up." And Karen says, "Shuts don't go up, prices do." And then she gets cut off before she can finish. But we were
she had like a whole speech going.
It was such a quick slapback. Like,
it doesn't even, it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I want to hear the rest of it. Like, I don't know. And then Karen gets sent up to her room so that Dad and Izzy can have their big emotional climax. So Dad says, "Is this the reason your mind isn't in the ring? Like, why wouldn't you talk to me about this?"
I would like to point out he's being theoretically stern, but he's also has not said a single negative thing.
No, he's coming at this with a lot of heart. Yeah. He's saying like, I knew something was up, so why wouldn't you talk to me about
Yeah.
this? And Izzy says, because, and he's like, well, that's,
Then you're gonna elaborate
you're gonna
on that?
elaborate? And he goes, because you wouldn't have heard me unless I was talking about boxing. It's all we ever talk about since mom died. And I don't even like it anymore. And that's not fair. Just because you don't have a life doesn't mean you can take mine away.
Ouch.
Ouch. I guess I shouldn't say
We.
we feel like this is so unfair to the dad that Izzy is just like projecting all of his like fears of kind of like losing that connection with his dad, like onto the dad. Like it's all your fault because you only talk about boxing. But it's not the dad.
Thought boxing was the way to connect.
Yeah.
Because he thought Izzy loved it. And at the beginning of the movie, Izzy sure seems like he does like boxing a lot.
But then he just finds a new passion. But he's like, oh, but my dad won't love me anymore. So he's like projecting, you know? So the dad just looks really hurt. And then Izzy goes, I'm sorry, dad. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'm gonna go get milk. Like he doesn't even like yell at Izzy or anything.
Yep.
He just says, so I need
some time.
Yeah, he's like, I just need to go take some time to process all this. And then Izzy goes to cry in his room and he finds the little present. And it's so sad. This is such a good movie. Like oh, okay. So then at the gym, Izzy's like punching the little thing, the little punchy bag thing. And Mary finds him there. And Izzy, like before Mary even asks, Izzy's like, no, I'm not joining the team. Like I need to focus on boxing. And Mary's
like, I got the golden gloves.
I gotta do it now. And Mary's like, is this because of Rodney and all the guys? And he says, no, like it's not just because of that.
Would you believe it that the double Dutch competition and golden gloves are on the same day? It's not.
It's not. They never talk about that.
But like it sure feels like that's what it's leading up to because that happens in every other DCOM.
Every other DCOM would have done it, but this one did not.
Like that has happened in at least 5 other DCOMs.
I have so much respect for this movie for not doing that. Like I had to choose because it's the same day. Like no, he just chooses because he doesn't really like boxing anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Mary's like, but you love double Dutch. It's not enough, you know? Right. So then Mary leaves and Tammy comes over to like hold the punching bag. And Tammy's like, so the double Dutch competition's tomorrow, huh? You're gonna punk out though because like kids are being little bitches.
Basically what she says.
And she's like, hey, if I listen to every stupid comment, would I be the best girl boxer in the city? No, it's their problem. It's not my problem. And then
attitude.
And then Tammy leaves and the fucking ref coach guy just appears.
He just like fizzes out of air.
Like, listen to her, boy, and then he disappears again.
And that's like it for him in the film. Like, not actually, but pretty much.
Why is he there?
You could completely remove him from the movie and nothing would actually change.
Yeah. All right, so cut to Rodney and a whole bunch of guys coming into the gym to bully Izzy. And he's like, it's time for a rematch. Or are you too chicken? And Izzy's like, you know what? Let's do this. Like, I'm fucking sick of it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Rematch. I mean,
he just egged on for a while before doing it.
Rodney's been wanting this rematch forever.
That's literally all he's talked about.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, rematch time. And then they're like in the ring and they're smack talking. And Izzy goes, you think beating me is going to change the fact that your dad's out of work? Or everyone thinking you as a loudmouth bully?
Ouch.
You can't use fighting to get respect, man. And this is like in front of a whole bunch of kids.
Yep.
Which it starts out with him being like, oh, your dad's out of work. And everyone goes, oh, shit, bird. But then he's like, stop trying to fight me to get respect. Like he's teaching him a life lesson. Yep. Right?
And as he does a really good thing where he's basically leading on Rodney. So Rodney will like swing at him.
Yeah.
Partially because I feel like there's a part of this where I feel like Izzy wants to be beaten up, if that makes sense.
He doesn't.
But he doesn't. But at the same time, he's like, down about himself, feeling like that. But he also knows that this is how he can get out of the situation, being the bigger man about it.
Yeah, he doesn't actually. He doesn't want to fight.
He doesn't throw a punch.
No, he does some sick backflips.
He taunts Rodney, gets Rodney to throw like some messy punches at him, and dodges them, goes out of the way, and does flips in the ring just to show off.
And he's like, he does backflip and he's like, but with ropes, it's even more impressive. And everyone's going, whoa. And he's like doing backflips. And then Izzy says, it's over. Let's end this. And he does more flips. And then Izzy goes, I'm sorry about your dad. I'm sorry you're so angry, but I'm not doing this with you. And Rodney's like, ah.
Yeah,
And
they're exiting the ring.
yeah. And well, no, they're still in the ring. And then Izzy goes, we both have things to be angry about, but fighting isn't going to make this better. There's more important things. And then Izzy leaves the ring. And then Rodney tries to like tackle him or something. And
he tries to also get out of the ring quickly
falls,
after it, and he trips and falls down.
Yeah, he falls down. He's on the ground. And everyone circles around and they're like, Izzy, beat him up. Like while
Rodney
he's on the
says
ground.
It too.
Rodney's like, do it. Izzy goes, no. Like, what? No, I'm done with this. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of being mad. And then Izzy leaves, and people are like, yeah, man, respect. He didn't beat Rodney up while he was on the ground, which they were just egging him on to beat him up while he was on the ground.
But now they're all celebrating the fact that he didn't.
They're like, respect, man.
Imagine thinking you were going to go watch a fight and literally no punches land.
And then you're like, respect.
And you are happy about this for some reason.
The narrator comes in and he says, Rodney was tired of being mad too.
It's been 45 minutes since the last time the narrator spoke. And now the narrator, Rodney, says the banger of a line, Rodney was tired of being mad too.
That's our favorite line.
It's for some reason, it's the way that they say it is such a dramatic scene. It's just, Rodney was tired of being mad too.
We know it's Rodney saying it. And it's been so long since there's a narrator.
And it just goes, silly. Like, it's so funny about that.
He's like, nobody ever stood up to Rodney before this. Now he, like, respects Izzy. Nobody had stood up to Rodney before this. So many people were like, Rodney, calm the fuck down. But this time,
no, not standing up in the way that Rodney accepts it.
Yeah, he had to, like, have Rodney on the ground and then not punch him and say, I'm tired of being mad. So cut to the double dutch competition. The girls recruited some like blind cousin they mentioned earlier.
They mentioned it like earlier.
Yeah.
When they're like, she's as good as Izzy, and then she like trips and falls because she literally can't see.
Yeah. But then Izzy shows up and they welcome him back on the team.
And they apparently have a shirt for him and jersey and everything because they hand it to him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, why did they bring it if they were so confident he wasn't coming?
They were hoping he would.
Hoping for a miracle. And they got it. Izzy decided to be on the team.
All I need is a miracle. All I need is Izzy. So then the Dutch Dragons come over to talk more shit.
Yolanda's on the team.
Yolanda's like, Izzy Daniels? And they're like, yeah, he's good.
He's really good.
And then Yolanda goes, yeah, I'm sure he's good enough for y'all.
So it's good. Yolanda's great.
She's funny.
Got the best trash talk.
And then they're like, what made you change your mind, Izzy? And he's like, I just had to listen to my heart. Cool. So then the competition starts. And Rodney showed up to watch.
What? Yeah, that's the first person we see show up out of like...
Rodney's...
everyone shows up.
Yeah, Rodney's friends are already there.
Yeah.
And like watching in the stands. So they're like supportive now. Good for them. And they do like a little nod of respect to Rodney. Like, hey, we're cool now, you know? Okay, so then they do the compulsory, which is like they have to do certain skills in the double dutch, whatever. And the Chili Steppers got first place. Woohoo!
Yep, Dutch Dragons got second.
Yep.
Third place was Sunshine Steppers. We're going to talk about these team names shortly.
Yeah. And now it's time for the speed round, and this is when they put Izzy in instead of Mary, even though Mary won it.
Mary won and beat the Dutch Dragons previously.
Yeah, at least we're assuming she did.
It seems like she did.
Yeah. And then the results, the Chili Steppers got second for this one, and the Dutch Dragons got first. So basically, they're like tied right now. And then Dutch Dragons talk more shit. They're like, "Oh, second place," even though they literally got second place in the first round. So
I mean, they were talking both ways after the first round too. So
I just feel like they never have fun. If this is like how they act, you know?
I think this is them having fun,
winning.
Yeah. Well, them trash talking. That's how they get their enjoyment in life.
That's sad.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay, so now it comes down to the freestyle part, and we notice that like the host is dressed like a pimp, but like in this like orange
It's just a full orange outfit.
with like a pimp hat and everything.
It's like all he's missing is a cane
Yeah,
for like the most stereotypical pimp
he really
outfit.
gets his kicks hosting double dutch competition.
This is just like a rec set. It doesn't make sense. It's all like it looks like a rave.
Yeah. Okay, so we wrote down all the other team names that we saw. So there's the Kung Fu Flyers, the Sunshine Steppers, the Jive Jays, and the Jump Masters. Best one is easily Kung Fu Flyers.
Kung
And,
Fu Fighters is
and they
good.
have a shtick, which is like acting like they're doing Kung Fu.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this is pretty fun. Just
Jive Jays is kind of dumb.
Jive Jays is bad.
How is Jump Masters?
Jump Master is bad. Sunshine Steppers I appreciate.
Is fine, yeah.
Hot Chili Steppers is still really good. Dutch Dragons is still really good.
Yeah. Okay, so we see Mary take some of Izzy's advice, just like be more chill and have fun, right? She's not taking it as seriously anymore.
She's not freaking out like she normally does.
Yeah, which is cool. They're just here to have fun. And then Izzy's dad and sister show up.
Surprised the sister wasn't already here, but
Well, who would have taken her? Like she's like 12 or whatever.
Mary's mom.
So Izzy like sees his dad come in, and then his dad looks over and smiles at him, and it's so sweet.
Mhm.
Of like, yeah, I'm here to support you.
Why wasn't he here the whole time? I feel like that the character would be there.
Huh.
Just for
Maybe
dramatic movie.
maybe he
effect.
got held up. Yeah, just for the dramatic.
Maybe it was this is just past 7 and they were having 7 o'clock dinner.
Yeah. Okay. So now the Chili Steppers come on, do their freestyle performance, and they have like glow in the dark gloves and shoes.
Pretty fun.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And then the song "It's My Turn Now" plays by Keke Palmer, and they do the little routine, and then push it to the limit, cause we're in it to win it, in it to win it. Oh yeah. That plays for their second song. Apparently, they get 2 songs.
Doesn't make sense. Neither song plays in full, and we don't see the other performances. You keep sticking this out as a point. I think this is just like, let it be.
I think it's not fair. This is just like Glee, okay? Because in Glee, all of the other groups that aren't real groups that you don't care about get like 1 song, and then the New Directions get like 3 songs.
Yeah, because they're the main characters.
So what the heck, though?
That happens. Yeah.
Also, they do like a little dance routine.
Yeah, once Push It to the Limit starts going up, basically all that's happening is they're dancing for like the first 30 seconds.
Dancing,
no jump rope.
They're dancing without the
It's
jump
a
rope.
bold play.
Is it even allowed?
Probably. They literally say at one point freestyle, basically anything's allowed.
Also, he does some little tricks with a single jump rope.
I think that cool.
Makes more sense because at least it's a jump rope. But like, since when can you just do little dance without the jump rope?
Because the majority of their performance is still jump rope related.
I guess. Yeah. Also, they throw in some like boxing punches.
Yeah, they like are inside the double dutch like hoop. I don't know what it's called. In the zone. They're like doing a boxing match. Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Also, I love it when so Izzy's like doing flips and stuff, and it's like in slow motion, and it cuts to the dad reacting to the flips in slow motion. It's
like a reaction meme without an actually big one. Whoa. It's like mind exploding.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so
great.
Funny.
And it just like fades between Izzy doing a flip, and then the dad's like fades in and then fades back out and then fades in.
It's so funny.
It's very funnily edited.
Cool. So then after the performance, Izzy sees his family and they're all so proud of him. And so then Izzy talks to his dad and he's like, "Dad, I'm sorry again." And the dad goes, "No, I'm sorry. I want us to be able to talk more about things. I pushed boxing after your mom died because I thought you loved it so much. I mean, I loved it so much, and it was a way for us to connect. I wanted us to be there for each other, and boxing was my way of doing that. Now I know that boxing is my dream, but it's not yours, and that's okay." And Izzy says, I just want to be your champ. And the dad says, you are. And they hug. And it's so
Aw.
good. And the dad is like taking full responsibility for this. And it's because like he knows that, like his son's just a kid, right? He's just a teenager who didn't understand how to navigate this. And the dad's like, I should have been more open to like other topics of boxing. And I own that. Like I was trying to connect to you and it was the wrong way to connect to you. And I know that now. And the dad slaps.
That's great.
He's awesome. Okay.
No notes.
No notes. Love Jump In Dad. Okay. So then Izzy sees his friends, including Tammy. And they're like, hey, what's up? Cool, you did awesome. Okay, bye. And then and then Izzy says hi to Rodney. And Rodney's like, hey, that was kind of cool for a daddy's boy. He's been calling him daddy's boy this whole movie.
Yeah.
I just haven't mentioned.
I mean, it's his dad's gym. I feel like that's the easiest.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, Nepo baby.
pretty much.
But he also was just the best.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then they like truce and shake hands and they're like good now. And now it's time for the competition results. In third place, the Kung Fu Flyers.
Way to go, Kung Fu Flyers.
Heck yeah. In second place are the Dutch Dragons.
They were celebrating that too, the Dutch Dragons. They were happy to get second.
So non-character for them.
Yeah. I feel like they should be mad.
They had character growth off screen, I guess. And now it's about to announce the winner. And the narrator says, Izzy made a choice that day to do what makes him happy. He taught all of us a lesson, blah, blah, blah. And then right as the announcer is about to say who won first place, it like freeze frames. And then you hear some kids going like, what happens next? And it's revealed, oh my God, what? Rodney was narrating the whole time, telling the story to a bunch of kids in the future?
What a plot twist.
So, and it looks like the same gym, right? Does he?
Yeah,
he
Rodney works at the gym.
He teaches kids boxing.
Yeah, and this is presumably years in the future.
Yeah, and one of the kids is like, "Did Mary and Izzy fall in love?" And I'm like, was Rodney telling them all about like the balcony and stuff? How did he know?
He probably got the story from Izzy.
Izzy was like, "Oh yeah, while all that was happening, Mary kissed me on the balcony."
On the lips.
On the lips. We had some pretty deep heart-to-hearts on that balcony, and I had some pretty deep talks with my dad. Like, Rodney just knows the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, did they make it to state? And Ronnie's like, they did make it to state, but they didn't win.
I'd like to point out, both Kelsey and I completely forget the fact that
they won.
They actually did win.
This competition.
Yeah. And they made it to state. We both fully remembered them losing.
Yeah, Rodney's saying they didn't win, but they won next year. So they didn't win state this year, but they won it the year after. And we were like,
I feel like that's such a weird, like,
those are the weird things to
decision.
remember. Yeah. But then, like, it cuts back after Ronnie's done talking to them winning. Yeah. Anyway, one of the kids is like, and Mary and Izzy? And he's like, yeah, they're still going strong. And then the kids leave, and we just see Rodney walking. And then the narrator comes in again.
It's like his internal thoughts.
And he goes, I tell that story to kids all the time. He really had to be there that day. So, like, is it going to be revealed that he's talking to some other people and said, I tell that story to kids? He was narrating his narration to the kids.
I think it just goes to his own mental thoughts.
It's so silly.
Simple.
Okay, so then he's like, yeah, you had to be there that day. And it cuts back to the announcer, and the Hot Chili Steppers win. I wrote Red Hot Chili Steppers. That's not it. It's just Hot Chili Steppers. And Rodney claps for them. And Yolanda looks so mad.
I mean, she ditched that team. And then they lost.
Won. Yeah. And then
like, am I the problem?
Am I the problem? Am I the drama? Fade to them on the street again. And the girls are like, just jump in. Just do
God,
it.
That's the name of the movie.
Oh my God. And you see that it's Izzy's dad trying to do double dutch. And they're like, just do it. He's like, do I do it now? Do I do it now? Yeah, they're like, yeah, just do it. Just jump in. And then he does it. He jumps into the double dutch and he does it. And then the credits roll. And that's the end of the movie.
And yeah, believe it or not, what we said the whole time is true. We think this is
A
pretty good movie.
We like it.
Yeah. It's one of the few that I feel like there's really nothing that bad about it.
Uh-huh.
There's not much more to say.
Yeah.
We got all our thoughts out here. I really don't have anything else.
Final Jank House ranking is 22 overall.
It's pretty high.
You have it at 21, and I have it at 28.
Both for similar enough.
Yeah.
Like,
is it? I'm assuming it's in your A tier. Yeah, it's in your A tier. Is it in my A tier? It's at the bottom of my A tier. Yeah, so it's an A tier movie. We both agree.
Yep. And I feel like it's just the definition of what an A tier movie is.
Yeah.
There's
it's good.
Not that much more to say.
Cool. So if you have thoughts on Jump In, let us know.
The DCOMDuel@gmail.com. We'll put TikToks out again at some point.
At some point. So find us on TikTok. There'll probably be TikToks at some point.
Yeah, Kelsey will have at least one new one by September 14th.
Nice. I'm glad the deadline got pushed back again because you gave a deadline last time.
What was the deadline?
It was like August something. And now I get till September.
I forgot that I did that before.
Yeah. And now I get more time. Cool.
Oh.
Cool. Are you ready to spin the wheel for our next movie?
Well, we gotta make our predictions.
What do you think it's gonna be?
I'm going cowbells.
Cowbells. I'm gonna go with Now You See It.
But now you don't. Whoa.
All right, let's spin the wheel. It's Kim Possible, the new live action one.
Kim Possible, so the drama. Not Kim Possible. Wait, no.
No,
Kim
not
Possible,
that one.
The live action
Yeah,
one.
it's just called Kim Possible. I have it in parentheses from 2019.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for saving my baby, Kim.
This is a movie that we watched it.
It's so
There's
bad.
a lot of discourse online about how bad this movie is.
It's so bad.
This is a movie. We watched it and we hated it. And it slowly kept going up on our ranks. Very slowly. I'm excited to rewatch it.
Because we're remembering how stupid it is.
Every element is dumb. And I'm excited to revisit that.
It's one you can shit on for sure. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, tune in 2 weeks to hear us talk about the new live action Kim Possible movie.
Everyone's favorite. All right.
Thanks for listening.
Well, bye.
Bye.
Scenes from our next episode.
Whoa, that was so cool how she did cartwheels to pick up those pieces of paper.
I was going to mention. Man, that naked mole rat sure looks great in live action.
Heck yeah, it does.
I thought Kim Possible was supposed to be cool. Why
isn't she cool?
Why is she being shown up by this sidekick?
Why is the sidekick a robot?
Do robots deserve rights?
Robots deserve love.
Do robots deserve life? Wait, they kept the robot?
Stop making robots sentient.
Why does that happen in multiple DCOMs?